What's good, Commanders family? Welcome to another episode of Everything Commanders. I am your host, Dream Team Buddha. Listen, the draft is just 2 weeks away. Yes, and the mock drafts are steadily flying in. My guy, Mel Kiper Jr. just dropped his 2-round mock draft. And in this mock draft, he got the Commanders taking 2 dogs, addressing 2 of our biggest needs. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Everything Commanders with your host, Dream Team Buddha. Hail to the Commanders. Okay, so listen, before we get into this video, if you will, do me a kind favor, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notification on, so that way I can keep you in the know with everything Commanders. We are rapidly growing over here, y'all. We just breached the 1,000 subscribers not too long ago. Let's continue to grow this great community, this family, I want to call it, that we are creating over here. Listen, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. Let's go. With that being said, let's get into this video. All right, y'all. Look, it's been a little minute and it's been a little drought. So listen, I am so happy to be back before you in front of this camera. You just don't understand. Now listen, the draft is only 2 weeks away. I'm excited. The draft 2 weeks away, my birthday 2 weeks away. So it's a 2-for-1 situation and nothing more exciting on my birthday other than the fact that the Lord allowed me to see another day willingly, that the NFL draft is the very next day. So I'm loving it. And these mock drafts, they steady flying in, you know, and I don't pay attention to everybody's mock draft, just the top guys that I want to break down and talk about, because in this particular mock draft that Mel Kiper Jr. has done, which is a 2-round mock draft, I really like the 2 prospects that he's pairing with the Washington Commanders to pick in their first and second round pick. Now listen, I know some of y'all may feel some type of way, or some of you all may love it, but hey, this is just who Mel Kiper Jr. predicts that the Washington Commanders will take and pick in round 1 and round 2. Now, we all know we have a glaring need on defense. Hell, we got needs pretty much all over the place that we can actually get some young talent at. I think we filled most needs via free agency, but we all didn't, want to go that route of just filling out needs at free agency. Of course, most people would love to fill the needs of the roster via the draft, but it does not happen overnight. We don't get 50 draft picks per year. And right now we are in win now mode. So we sent a couple draft picks off. So we a little skimped at draft picks this year. We only got 5 draft picks. However, at pick number 29, when you're picking at the end of the draft, it's pretty much in la-la land. You don't really know who you're going to get at pick 29. You would like to be picking up in the early 10 picks of the draft. But when you're good, you don't get to pick at the beginning of the draft. And I would rather be picking at the end of the draft than the beginning of the draft, because you know what? That means we are closer and closer to a Super Bowl ring. And that's the ultimate goal, y'all. All right, so listen. Everybody know on the defensive side, we have a glaring need, right? And he chose 2 prospects, especially one of them that I really like. I really like in the second round. We'll get to that soon. All right, so with the first pick, the 29th, with the 29th pick in the first round, the Washington Commanders, predicted by Mel Kiper Jr., selects Shamar Stewart, defensive end out of Texas A&M. Woo! We need some help along the defensive line. Now, I know he hasn't put up much production, and you would like to see a whole lot more sacks and whatever the case may be, and tackles for losses, and this you want that impact player. Now, at the end of the draft, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the likes of Abdul Carter's who put up so many stats and had a great impact. Coming into the draft, they're gonna go top 10. The dogs, the ones who considered more favorable to be successful in the NFL are gonna go in the top 10. But that don't mean picking at the end of the draft you can't find you a dog. Now, Mel Kiper Jr. had this to say about him. Stewart's draft stock is hard to predict. As I mentioned earlier, I considered him for Cincinnati at number 17. He comes off the board here, 12 spots later. It's the same dilemma that GMs will be struggling with on draft night. Stewart has all the talent in the world, speed, explosiveness, and power, but he also had 4.5 sacks over the past 3 seasons. If an NFL coaching staff can help him put it all together, the upside is immense. I'm betting on Commanders coach Dan Quinn unlocking that potential. Dante Fowler's Jr. departure in free agency means there's a hole opposite Dorrance Armstrong on the D-line. All right, so that's what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say about him. Now, let's take a look into his draft profile. As you can see, the young fella's out of Texas A&M. He's 6'5", 267 pounds. That's a good size for your traditional defensive end. His arm length is 34th and 1/8. His hand is 9'5'8". Pretty good, pretty decent body attributes, Let's keep it moving. Now, he did participate in the NFL Combine, but he didn't do every drill. So we only gonna talk about what he did do. He did do the 40-yard dash, and he ran a 4.59 at defensive end. Now, that's not the fastest of the defensive ends, such as I can't think of his name, James Pierce Jr., who ran the fastest 40 time at defensive end, but it's still decent. He had a 1.58 10-yard split, and that's what you look for. He also had a 40-inch vertical jump, and he also had a 10-11 broad jump. All right, so let's take a look at his overview by Lance Zierlein, like we always do. Stewart is carved from granite, possession of rare blend of traits, explosiveness, and untapped upside. Now, he ain't showed much yet, but for some reason, all these draft gurus believe that he's worth every penny. Now, we shall see. He's long and sudden off the snap, but hasn't learned to weaponize his hands to control the point of attack and bypass protection with his go-to moves. His ball rush compresses the pocket of the edge, and that's what you want. And he's too athletic for guards. When reduced inside, he can be very disruptive in both phases, but requires additional training to start converting his opportunities into finishes. The lack of production relative to his traits is a concern. Still, players who move like him are highly coveted. While the boom or bust label may be in play, which I think it is, it feels like a matter of time before it all starts to click at a high level. All right, so let's get into some of his strengths. Carved from granite with a rare combo of size, length, and explosiveness. First step burst and good bend to create danger in the gaps. Strength to drive lateral blocks into the backfield. You want that penetration. No diddy. All right, so let's get into some of his weaknesses. Puzzling lack of career production relative to his traits. Another raw talent guy. Allows blockers into his frame, diminishing his length. Gets pushed off his base and widened at the edge. I do not like that, but they can work on it. Every prospect needs work. As we move right along, Mel Kiper Jr. had the Washington Commanders taking cornerback out of Iowa State, Darren Porter, with our 2nd round pick. Now listen, this guy, I love the potential that this young guy presents. After watching him and his tape, he's one of those guys that use the combine to his advantage. The combine is a place where you can either drop your draft stock or you can raise your draft stock. And in this situation, he raised his draft stock. He ran like a 4.3 40. Boy, fast. He's lengthy, he's long. Man, listen, he's raw. He's a raw talent, but we're in the 2nd round. A lot of these players are going to be raw in the 2nd round. But I think this guy has so much potential, especially if he could get in the system with Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn. Well, I believe in his coaching staff. I don't know about you, but I believe in his coaching staff. Like, I know Emmanuel Forbes was picked from Ron Rivera's staff, but by the time that this staff came in, Emmanuel Forbes is already set in his way. You know, they already had ruined him the season before. And they realized right away that they weren't going to be able to get the most out of Emmanuel Forbes. So they didn't sit and stick around and like the old Commanders or the old Redskins would do and just hold on to a player, even though you know he's not the best. As you can see, they got rid of the whole entire last 4 first-round picks of Ron Rivera in that regime. You know, so they ain't messing around, you know. But this is what Mel Kiper Jr. had to say about him. I'm intrigued by Porter as a day 2 pick because there's a lot of untapped potential, like I just said. He's a former wide receiver who is still learning the nuances of cornerback position. Don't that sound like Mikey Sainristil? Now, I'm not saying that he Mikey Sainristil. Mikey Sainristil is the dog. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, most cornerbacks who come into the league, i.e. Mikey Sainristil, Trayvon Diggs, and they come into the league and they have that mindset like Richard Sherman of a wide receiver. They already know what to look for when you play cornerback. They know what to look for. They reading the play just like you reading the play as a wide receiver. They know, they pretty much got an idea of what you're running just by your route. So you want that knowledge on defense, on the defensive side. You want that. And the biggest concern for most cornerbacks who convert from wide receiver to cornerback is, are they willing to tackle? Are they willing to stick their head in there, pause, and stick their shoulder in there, should I say, and make the tackle? Are they willing to be aggressive, physical at the point of contact? That's what you want to know. And I think this young man has to work on a little bit. But let's finish this up. He has a 4.3 40 speed, plenty of length and ball skills to create takeaways. That's what I love about him. Let me say that one more time. He has a 4.3 40 speed, plenty of length and the ball skill to create takeaways. We need somebody that's going to take the ball away, y'all. We need turnovers. We thought we had that in the Emmanuel Forbes. We didn't have that. But anyway, Porter picked off 3 passes last season. The Commanders added Jonathan Jones and Noah Ignagami to replace Benjamin St. Juste and Emmanuel Forbes, who was cut last season, which we just talked about him. But Porter could develop into a starter. A starter. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need next level potential. We need people that we can develop. As long as he's going to take to the coaching, he could be something real special. Let's take a look into his draft profile. As you can see, the guys from Iowa State, he's a tall, lengthy corner like I talked about. He's 6'3", 195 pounds, got an arm length of 33 1/8, a 9-inch hand. Listen. All right, and Porter did take to the combine. Like I told you, some people going to take advantage of it, and some people ain't going to allow it to drop their draft stock because maybe they got something to hide or they feel like they set it where they going to be picked, where they getting predicted to pick. Anyway, this guy ran a 4.3. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he ran a 4.29, but I guess it wasn't official. But he ran a 4.3 in the 40, and he had a 1.49 10-yard split. He also had a 36.5 vertical jump, and he had a 10-11 broad jump. He did the cone drills. Cone drills was 6.71, and then he had the 20-yard shuttle, which was 4.04. He did great at the combine. He was a combine standout. Okay? This is his overview by Lance Zierlein, as he's been doing this whole series. All right? First, before I get into this, let me say this. They are comparing him to Rick Woolen, the long, lengthy cornerback out of Seattle Seahawks. All right, let's get into it. All right. 6-year senior with elite traits and special teams talent, but only 1 year of starting experience at cornerback. Like I told y'all, he's raw. He's a raw cornerback. Porter's rep total is heavy on zone coverages, but he has the athleticism, burst, and speed to handle more man coverage. He has excellent zone awareness with the twitch and ball skills to expand his sphere of influence. He uses his length to shade downfield throws, but needs to get stronger to improve his press, his contest, and his tackling in run support. And that's where we need to work on. If we were to get this, if we were to do what this mock draft is saying, we would definitely need to make sure that we can make him a man over here, okay? Also, more schooling is needed as a pattern matcher, but his athletic profile and instant impact on special teams should create more confidence and projecting Porter's continued ascension as a cornerback 2 or cornerback 3. It's all in what you see him as. It's all in what you see him as. I think that, yeah, he may be considered a CB2 or a CB3, but, you know, if you work with him, maybe they can get the dog out of him. You know, this is just who they pick. All right, let's get it. All right, so let's go over some of his strengths and some of his weaknesses. Elite combination of size, length, and speed. That's what I love about him. Possesses arm length that offensive tackles would convey. Smooth athlete with easy change of direction and acceleration. All right, now, with every prospect strength, they got weaknesses. Let's go over some of his weaknesses. Made first start at cornerback in his 6th season in 2024. He only got 1 year of experience when it comes to cornerback, but he has 6 years of college football. He played wide receiver. So when you're coming from the wide receiver to the cornerback position, all that will help you. Mikey Sainrisville didn't play cornerback that long. Pay attention. Limited man cover reps on tape to evaluate. Takes time gathering and adjusting to more complex routes. Like I'm telling y'all, if we were to get this young guy and we put him in the system with Dan Quinn and Joe Witt and the whole defensive staff, this kid has raw potential. He could be more than just a cornerback 2 or a cornerback 3. All right, so listen. Although I like these two players, I don't love these two players for where they are predicting for us to take them. Now, I'd be more comfortable with them taking Darian Porter in the 2nd if, you know, there isn't a Benjamin Morrison or Azariah Thomas or one of them before him. But I don't know about Shamon Stewart. Like, just like the tape says, like, I think it's a need that we need to address at defensive end, but I just haven't seen much. Like, yeah, he got upside, this, that, and the fourth, but at the end of the day, this is only who Mel Kiper Jr. predicts us taking with his 2-round mock. So this doesn't mean that we will pick him, but at the same time, it's a possibility. However, I don't think he's going to make it to us, but I think that whoever picks him is taking a chance. It could be a bust. It could be greatness. Who knows? We just have to wait and see. But I don't want to take the chance at 29 to see. I don't want to be the team to take the chance to see. Now, he may be a great. Who knows? But chances are he's not. And if James Pierce Jr. is sitting there at 29, I'm taking James Pierce Jr. or Mike Green or Donovan Azaraku. I'm not taking Shamon Stewart. Point blank period. But this is just, I'm just doing for the sake of this mock draft, Shamon Stewart at 29 is who they predicting. Like I said, I'd be much more comfortable if it was Darian Porter in the 2nd or in the 4th. But if he slide, we'll see how it is. Like I said, I'm doing my mock draft shortly after this. So you'll see who I think that we should pick if in those certain situations. We're going to do a mock draft Thursday and a mock draft the following Thursday. And then the following Thursday after that is the NFL draft. So, yeah, just stay tuned. Listen, if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notifications on so that I can keep you in the know with everything Commanders. All right? Come on and join the family. Commanders family, I don't know what you're waiting for. Come on and join the family. We're rapidly growing around here, and we're trying to continue to build this support of the channel, and we want to see the channel flourish. Like we just hit 1,000 subscribers not too long ago, and let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep raising the bar. So do me a favor, make sure you hit that like button and share the video. Help the channel go out. I truly appreciate each and every last one of y'all. I'm excited about this upcoming draft and the upcoming off season and the season. We about ready to ramp things up, and I appreciate y'all for being with me along the ride. Now, that's gonna do it for your boy. So listen, y'all know how I end these episodes. Left hand up. Let me see you get that left hand up. Let's get that. Left hand up. Who are we? The Commanders. Catch you on the next one.